7:33 on a Wednesday morning, and you are watching the Now Morning Show, where we are celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week 2022. Now, this has been a week that has been celebrated for the last 15 years, and joining us this morning is the host for the last 14, at least his organization is. He is Mr. Shedron Collins, and he is the General Manager of Youth Business TNT, telling us more about Global Entrepreneurship Week. Welcome and good morning.
And good morning, and thank you for having me, and welcome to the viewers, and morning to the viewers as well.
Because you are welcoming us to Global Entrepreneurship Week, tell me exactly what it is.
So it's a difficult thing to describe because it's 200 countries across the globe celebrating within 1 week, quote unquote, because we've started events last week and we're going to have events until end of November. Across the 20,000 activities, and with COVID and everything being online, yes, you're celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week in Trinidad and Tobago, but you can tune into a webinar. I was on a webinar yesterday with Barbados and Dominica around social entrepreneurship, right? So it's a celebration of activities around entrepreneurship. This year, our theme is embracing the next generation of entrepreneurs. And I'll speak to the theme a little bit after. But the essence of it is really just having different partners, hosting different events, activities, webinars. We have a hike, right? Anything to do with entrepreneurship.
A hike?
Yeah. So entrepreneurs go together, they go on a hike, they discuss business. So any way that you can possibly have people, you can have entrepreneurs. So think of it that way.
Makes sense. Now, it's, as I was telling a previous guest, kind of a buzzword. Everybody likes to title themselves an entrepreneur, but what constitutes an entrepreneur?
Really the game changers, right? Persons who are looking at something and saying, okay, what can I do new to it? Persons who are looking at problems and trying to find solutions, right? I always separate entrepreneur from running a business, right? Because an entrepreneurial mindset, you can be working for someone and you quote that an entrepreneur, right? Somebody who's working for someone, but they're seeing a problem of the file cabinet needs to move and move in the file cabinet. So problem and solution is really where you get the essence of entrepreneurs. You just so happen to make money.
Oh. If only it was that simple. It just so happened to make money. But that's a really key core factor that a lot of these times we can apply to so many industries. So your expertise in terms of decades and decades of specifically working with the youth definitely speaks to this year's theme, yes?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about the theme, as we close to the next generation, the play on it is that it's not just focused on the young persons, right? Simply because when we hear next generation, we always think young persons. But what the theme ascribes to is that everyone can be an entrepreneur. So someone who's retired and said, hey, I'm not finished yet, they can be part of the next generation of entrepreneurs. Right. Entrepreneurs who are starting new tech-enabled or digital businesses are the next generation of entrepreneurs. Persons now going out to export are now the next generation of entrepreneurs. And that's what we want to see it all encompassing of everyone. It's time for you to now become the next generation of entrepreneurs or the next generation of your business.
Nice. I will say that entrepreneurship is very intimidating. I have actually, as an individual, stayed away from the title altogether because, as they say, chief cook and bottle washer, accountant, marketing agent, everything is supposedly falling on you now. Has that differed or evolved towards a more, well, easy is the best word I could think of, or more simplified?
It's never easy. I mean, if it was easy, anyone could do it. And I think that is...
You just say everybody could be an entrepreneur.
Everybody can be an entrepreneur, and everybody has the willpower to stay an entrepreneur. Let's say it like that.
Touché.
So the way we're looking at it is that an entrepreneur could be running a 20-person company, a 100-person company. It's not just, it's only at the start you're really starting at yourself.
Okay.
Right? But once you keep that mindset of solving problems, there's no difference from an entrepreneur who's running a mini mart, providing something that the community needs, and Massy, right? Where you have a big conglomerate organization running from there. So you have to think of it as, I'm starting now, but this is not the be-all and end-all of my business. How am I going to build the structure and the needs of the business? I build the structure. I say, okay, I'm doing this role. If I need somebody else to do it, how I'm going to factor in somebody else to do it the way that I do it as well.
Think big, guys. Think big. Now, in terms of the week of activities, though, I know you mentioned so many variations, but more specifically, what are the ones that we can look forward to
All right,
from
great.
your
So it's
organization?
40 weeks of activities. So I'm telling the partners, no, I'm going to forget some persons, right? We started off with Laura Quenchel Thomas kind of talking about, what are the 10 things that an aspiring entrepreneur needs to know? And this is not just the accounting and finance, it's
Right.
from experience, right? Learning to have that person behind your head telling this ain't gonna work, right? And people wouldn't even think about that because it now gives
Have
you
that person?
giving you the idea of, hey, how can I make this person a believer?
Ah,
Right?
okay,
So you're
gotcha.
thinking about it from that way. We have a youth expo, and that's actually next week with We Say Yes, and they're going to host a youth, we call it a youth expo, the annual youth expo that they're going to have, where they're bringing together the different organizations, conversations around youths from there. This weekend, we have the Fashion Arch. They're going to do the the Caribbean Creative Summit, right, which they bring all the different creative summits from right there. And then right after that, you actually have Fashion TT having their event, supply chain management. And then during that day, we also have Karen Rose becoming Googleable, right? So
Becoming Googleable.
Googleable, yes. Right. So we're looking at different and a lot of businesses and a lot of variations of it. If you go down to San Fernando, there's going to be an expo in San Fernando as well, right? During this week, last week, YBTT, because we're so connected with youth, we went into schools together with Choice HR, and they went into schools as well. So schools like Success Lab until Russell Atterbury Secondary, and those kind of schools going into those schools to what we call spark the idea of becoming an entrepreneur, because they may not be ready yet.
Right.
But if we can plant a seed or give a little spark to
have
them and
time
say
to
they
grow.
can have time to grow from there. So the idea is to have so many different activities and we share it all on our one platform. So you might see one activity that interests you, but once you go down the listing, you might see 5 different activities. And my advice is go all 5. If they are at the same time, double yourself, then we'll figure it out.
Double yourself. Look, these bits of advice, some of them are good nuggets, some of them we have to put a disclaimer. But in terms of getting onto the website to be able to view that list, the extremely long list of activities, where do we go?
So you're going on to ybtt.org/GEWTT, right? So you'll find the listing of activities right there. You're scrolling down. Each activity has its registration sheet right on the side. So once you see the activity and you figure this is something I want to get into, you can click the registration sheet right there and sign up for it. Some are free, some are at a cost, and it's really a minimum cost just to kind of have some stick to it into it. I always say, if you want something, give something, right? So look at it from that aspect. So once you go onto the website, ybtt.org/GEWTT, you'll find all the information there.
And going back to the GW this week itself, the events that are planned for those around the region, those of us who are brothers and sisters of the island, are they able to find that information on the same website as well?
Yes, or at least connect with us. And once you go on Facebook and social media and you type GEW Jamaica, GEW Barbados, you'll find the full listing of events. Yesterday, we had a regional event with Gen Caribbean. So that's all of us in the Caribbean having events there. And entrepreneurs pitched. We had 2 entrepreneurs from Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados pitched, Dominica, Guyana. So it's all these different countries and all these different entrepreneurs and mostly around the agriculture sector, showing that, agriculture is ours. So let's capture it from there.
Absolutely agree.
Even Food for Thought is another event and business that's coming on. We have Tech for Agri going digital skills from there. So it's so many different activities happening at the same time.
And in that case, all of this has to be done with some partnerships and sponsors. Any names that you want to remember?
Right. So we've been working with these organizations for a while, giving us support because we're a not-for-profit organization as well. So Exim Bank has been there from supporting with us. Since we've been doing our school spark solely by doing that alone, they've been supporting us. And then the Agriculture Development Bank coming on board as well to support the initiative. And those are the 2 main sponsors helping us out from there.
Great. Well, in that case, Mr. Collins, I want to say thank you very much, not just for joining us, but for also giving us the information and planting that seed. You definitely will remind someone out there that they too can be an entrepreneur, that it is just the start and they will not always have to do it alone. But
And you
more
may
than
feel
anything, that this week we're celebrating entrepreneurs.
Yep, and you may feel, and I think the good thing about it is at least just to start, right, and get started. dip your hand in it and see what happens.
Dip your hand in it, duplicate yourself. Guys, some nuggets from Mr. Collins here, the General Manager of Youth Business TNT, joining us on the Now Morning Show to tell us more about Global Entrepreneurship Week, which you can be a part of by heading to their websites, Facebook and Instagram pages as well, I imagine.
Facebook and Instagram as well, so you can get us at, on Facebook it's still YBTT, on Instagram it's YBTT.
All right. And as we continue to make sure that we give you more things you need to know now, you want to stick around. We'll be back after this break.
Where we come from far, we got more